We have spent 3 episodes talking about something most people rarely examine: perspective. We have explored the battle for it. We have explored how it is manufactured. We have explored the invincible prisons it can create. Now comes the most important question: how do you reclaim your sight? How do you learn to see clearly in a world where everyone seems to be competing for your attention, your emotions, your loyalty, and ultimately your perspective? Because seeing the problem is important, but seeing the problem is not the same thing as solving it. Awareness is the beginning, not the destination. And if you have followed this series carefully, you may have noticed something. I have not been telling you what to think. That has been intentional, because the goal was never to replace one perspective with another. The goal was to help you become capable of examining perspectives for yourself. There is a difference, a very important difference. Many people move from one set of assumptions to another set of assumptions, one ideology to another ideology, one tribe to another tribe, one echo chamber to another echo chamber, and they call that freedom. Sometimes it isn't freedom at all. Sometimes it is simply relocation. The prison changed, the dependency remained. True freedom is different. True freedom is the ability to investigate what you believe and why you believe it. True freedom is the ability to remain curious. True freedom is the ability to examine yourself honestly. True freedom is the ability to see reality without constantly forcing it to fit your preferred narrative. And that kind of freedom requires practice. Let's begin with something simple. Most people think seeing clearly starts with gathering more information. Often it starts with something else. Slowing down. One of the greatest enemies of clarity is speed. We live in a world that rewards immediate reactions, immediate opinions, immediate judgments, immediate outrage, immediate sanctity. Everything is fast. And when things move too quickly, examination becomes difficult. Think about how many opinions people form in seconds. A headline appears, an opinion forms. A video appears, an opinion forms. A comment appears, an opinion forms. A situation happens and an opinion forms. But clarity often requires something many people no longer practice: pause. A pause creates space between information and interpretation. A pause creates space between emotion and reaction. A pause creates space between what happened and the story you are about to tell yourself about what happened. That space is powerful because freedom often lives inside that space. The next step is learning to separate facts from interpretations. This sounds simple. It is not. Most people combine the two without realizing it. Let's say someone doesn't return your call. The fact is simple. They did not return the call. The interpretation might be, they don't respect me. They are angry with me. They don't care about me. Notice what happened? The fact took one sentence. The interpretation created the rest. And yet, many people experience life primarily through interpretations rather than facts. The same thing happens everywhere. A business struggles, a relationship changes, an opportunity disappears, a plan fails, the event occurs, the interpretation arrives, the Challenge is learning to ask, what actually happened? And what story am I attaching to what happened? That question alone can prevent countless unnecessary conclusions. Now, let's talk about something that requires courage. Examining inherited beliefs, not rejecting them. Examining them. Many people inherit beliefs about success, about money, about relationships, about leadership, about happiness, about identity, about what is possible, about what is impossible. Some of those beliefs are valuable, some are limiting. The problem is that most people never investigate them. They simply assume inherited means true. But maturity requires something deeper. Maturity asks, is this belief serving reality or merely surviving repetition? You don't honor truth by protecting it from questions. You honor truth by allowing it to survive questions. Anything worth believing should survive examination. That brings us to another important practice: learning from people who disagree with you. This is becoming increasingly rare. Many people only consume information from people who already agree with them. It feels comfortable, it feels affirming, it feels safe, but it often creates blindness. Because every perspective has blind spots. Every single one, including yours, including mine. One of the fastest ways to expose blind spots is to listen carefully to intelligent people who see things differently. Not to argue, not to defeat them, to understand them. You may still disagree afterward. That is fine. The goal is not agreement. The goal is perspective expansion. Because a person who understands multiple viewpoints sees more of reality than a person who understands only one. Now, let me share something important. Humility is not weakness. Humility is one of the most powerful tools for clear thinking. Many people misunderstand humility. They think humility means thinking less of yourself. It doesn't. Humility means accepting that your understanding is always incomplete. Reality is too large for any one perspective to capture perfectly. The moment you accept that, curiosity returns, question returns, growth returns. Humility protects you from the prison of certainty, because certainty often says, I already know. Humility says, what might I be missing? That question has changed more lives than people realize. What might I be missing? Not because you assume you're wrong, because reality deserves investigation. Now, let's move into something even more practical. Developing a personal framework. Most people have opinions. Few people have principles, and there's a difference. Opinions change with circumstances. Principles help evaluate circumstances. A person without principles is easily moved by emotion, easily moved by trends, easily moved by pressure, easily moved by popularity. But a person with principles has something stable beneath the noise. When new information appears, they examine it. When a trend appears, they examine it. When an idea appears, they examine it. Not emotionally, principally. That is how perspective becomes intentional rather than reactive. So let me offer a simple framework. Whenever you encounter a strong claim, ask yourself 5 questions. What are the facts? What assumptions are being made? Who benefits from this perspective? What evidence challenges this perspective? What happens if this perspective is wrong? Notice that none of those questions require cynicism. They simply require awareness. And awareness creates clarity. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Self-awareness. Because ultimately, the most difficult perspective to examine is your own. You can spot blind spots in other people all day. Your own are harder. Much harder. This is why reflection matters. Not endless reflection. Intentional reflection. Taking time to ask, why did that upset me so much? Why did I react that way? Why do I keep repeating this pattern? Why does this belief feel so important? What fear might be underneath this conclusion? What experience shaped this perspective? Questions like these help us move beneath surface reactions. They help us discover what is really going on. And often, what is really going on is not what we initially thought. A person thinks they are angry. Sometimes they are afraid. A person thinks they are discouraged. Sometimes they are grieving. A person thinks they are stuck. Sometimes they are carrying an assumption that no longer serves them. The deeper issue is often hidden beneath the obvious one. That is why reflection matters. It helps us see beneath appearances. Now, here's something I want you to remember. Clarity is not an event. It is a practice. Many people are waiting for a breakthrough moment, a single realization that changes everything. Sometimes those moments happen, but more often, clarity develops gradually through observation, through reflection, through questioning, through learning, through honest conversations, through repeated examination. Little by little, layer by layer, you begin seeing things you previously missed. And that process never really ends, because reality is always teaching. The question is whether we remain teachable. And that brings me to what may be the most important lesson in this entire series. Your perspective is either being developed intentionally or absorbed accidentally. There is no neutral. Every day, something is shaping the way you see. The question is whether you are participating consciously. If you do not choose what informs your perspective, something else will. If you do not examine your assumptions, they will quietly govern your decisions. If you do not investigate your beliefs, they will eventually investigate your future. Because beliefs create behaviors. Behaviors create patterns. Patterns create outcomes. And outcomes create lives. Which means perspective is never merely theoretical. Perspective is practical. It is personal. It is consequential. Now, before we close this series, I want to leave you with a challenge. Not for today, for the next 30 days. Every time you encounter a strong opinion, pause. Every time you feel certain, pause. Every time you react emotionally, pause. And ask 4 simple questions. What am I seeing? What am I assuming? What might I be missing? What is really going on here? Not what appears to be happening. What is really going on? Those questions have a remarkable ability to reveal things even beneath the surface. And the more you ask them, the clearer your thinking becomes. Not perfect, clearer. Because clarity is not perfection. Clarity is alignment. Alignment between reality and perception. Alignment between observation and interpretation. alignment between what is true and what we choose to believe. And perhaps that is the real purpose of this entire conversation. Not to make you suspicious of the world, not to make you distrust everyone, not to make you reject every perspective, but to help you become a person who sees, a person who notices, a person who examines, a person who thinks, a person who remains curious, a person who refuses to outsource the responsibility of perception. Because once you give away your perspective, it becomes very easy to give away your direction. And once you reclaim your perspective, something remarkable happens. You begin reclaiming your life. So, let me leave you with one final question. A question that may be worth revisiting for years. The next time you hold a strong opinion, defend a belief, pursue a goal, fear a possibility, or interpret an event, ask yourself, did I choose this perspective or did I inherit it? That question may not change your day. It may change your life. Because if you don't own your perspective, someone else will sell you one. And the moment you learn to see that clearly, you are already freer than you were before. Thank you for being part of this journey. Now the work begins, not out there, in here, in the place where every future decision starts the way you see.